Part 4. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 31. Suren glanced at the little girl in front of him. It seemed that this was the person who was caught by the mercenaries among the people in the restaurant. These people in front of me are mercenaries. Originally, Suren didn't want to meddle in other people's business, but these people didn't take him seriously. Are you sure there's no one else around here? Suren asked. Hearing this, several mercenaries laughed. Haha, this kid seems to be scared out of his mind. Of course we're sure there's no one else around here, so you can die in peace. Suren nodded. That's good, then I'll feel relieved. Ha 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 ha. There was another round of jeers. But the next moment they stopped laughing. A flash of sword light flashed, and a bloody streak appeared on the necks of more than a dozen mercenaries. Still laughing with their mouths open, they could only cough up mouthfuls of blood. Bang bang bang. The sound of 12 bodies falling to the ground was heard in succession. I hate it when people threaten me. Suren took back the knife calmly. When the little girl saw this scene, her pupils suddenly shrank and her eyes were full of horror. Suren looked at her and asked, "Are you sure you still want me to save you?" The little girl shook her head quickly. But she soon recovered and said in a playful manner, "But big brother, you killed them all and saved me." After saying this, the little girl changed her face again and looked at Suren aggrievedly. "Brother, I'm hungry, can you give me something to eat?" Watching her face change several times, Suren was sure that this was an old witch pretending. If I keep entangled with her, I'm afraid I'll fall into trouble myself. No, bye. Also, don't follow me. If you dare to follow me, I will kill you. Suren turned around and left, no longer talking nonsense to her. After walking for more than 10 minutes, Suren felt relieved after making sure that the little girl was not following him. Suren is not a murderous person. As long as others don't provoke him, he will not kill people randomly. At this time, several screams were heard in the air. A group of people rode flying beasts and flew quickly through the air. After seeing Suren, these people turned around and came back to fall in front of Suren. The person in front took out a photo and asked Suren, "Boy, have you seen this little girl?" Suren glanced at the person who had just asked him for help. It seems that these people are also mercenaries. Suren shook his head and said he had never seen it. The man stared at Suren with a cold face and said, "Really? If I find out that you are lying, the consequences will be serious, do you understand?" Suren's expression remained unchanged. The man glanced at Suren again, then called on the others to ride on the flying beast and fly into the sky. At this moment, a reminder came from behind Suren. "Brother, be careful in the sky." Suren was shocked when he heard this. He looked up and saw that the mercenary who was about to leave just now threw a fire magic bomb at him. Boom! An explosion came from where Suren was. The little girl ran in front of Suren and tried to block him, but she was still a step too late. Humph, this kid thinks he's smart and wants to lie to us. The 7th team that died just now was videotaping the entire process. Suren didn't know that he had been exposed long ago. "Catch this girl." As soon as the man finished speaking, a bright light flashed through the smoke of the explosion. All the mercenaries and their flying beasts in the sky fell to the ground. Suren walked out of the smoke unscathed. The little girl looked at Suren in shock. "Brother, you are okay at all? What, you hope something happens to me?" "No. It's not." The girl shook her head hastily. "Didn't I tell you not to follow me? Are you really not afraid of death?" Suren glanced at her. I have nowhere to go." "If you don't have anywhere to go, go back to your parents." Hearing this, the little girl's expression darkened, she lowered her head and said softly, I don't have parents, and I don't know what they look like. Are you an orphan too? For some reason, Suren really felt like she was just an unwanted child at this moment. He actually felt some sympathy for her. Perhaps to remind him that she was in danger just now, Suren took out a piece of dry food and gave it to her. Eat, didn't you say you were hungry? The little girl glanced at the thing in Suren's hand, grabbed it and ate it hungrily. Is he really a child? Suren looked at her, a little confused. How could a 7 or 8-year-old child escape from a place of extreme inflammation? But her mentality from the beginning to now is indeed like that of a child. Drink some water, don't choke. Suren handed her a bottle of water, but the little girl didn't take it and instead pushed the mineral water away. The little girl finished the dry food in 2 mouthfuls and explained. I can't drink water. Can't drink water? Why? Because it will hurt. Suren was even more confused. How could drinking water cause injuries? What a strange man. I will take you to Liwo City. You can choose where to go then. This is the last place Suren can help her. Oh, thank you, big brother. Suren walked in front, and the little girl followed him obediently. The two of them walked to Liwo City one after another. Captain, the Flying Eagle Squadron is also dead. The Flying Eagle Squadron is the ace member of their Tiger mercenary group, with high mobility and high explosive capabilities. Zhao Hu said angrily. What did you say? What level is that boy? The 7th team and the Flying Eagle team were all lost in Suren's hands, and Zhao Hu's heart was bleeding. Captain, could he be the brother of the girl we want to arrest? In his opinion, that girl was abnormal, and it seemed reasonable to have an abnormal brother. Humph, I don't care who he is, if anyone dares to kill me, I will make him pay the price. Judging from their route, they should be heading to Liwo City. Go ahead at full speed to stop them. That young man is very strong. No matter whoever meets him kills the young man first, don't kill the little girl by mistake. What happened to the Tiger mercenary group was soon known to the Cheetah mercenary group. Hey, speed is our advantage, let's catch him before Zhao Hu does. On the way, Suren learned the name of the little girl, Caier. According to her own words, when she woke up, she was deep in a mountain in the land of extreme inflammation, until yesterday those people said they wanted to capture her to make medicine. She just ran out. As for the rest, she couldn't remember anything and had no idea why she was there. Suren guessed that she lost her memory after losing a fight. Although the world has been digitized, it seems that injuries to the human mental system can cause people to become stupid or lose their memory. Caier must have been mentally injured, otherwise a child as big as her would never be able to survive in an extremely hot place. By the way, you can invite her to form a team. Then you can see her career information and level. Thinking of this, Suren invited her to form a team. Caier agrees to join Team ADUI. Suren looked at her message. Name, Caier. Profession? Level 680. Looking at the two pieces of information about occupation and level, Suren looked puzzled. Judging from the situation, this is really a big guy who has lost his memory. But can't see a career. Can anyone tell me what the hell this level 680 is? I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 32. Why don't you leave, big brother? Caier raised her head and looked at Suren. It's okay, let's go quickly, it's getting dark soon. Suren hadn't spent the night outside the city yet, and he didn't know how dangerous it was outside the city at night. Regarding Caier's identity, Suren couldn't guess and stopped guessing. Anyway, just send her to Liwo City, give her some money and let her choose. Level 680, although I don't know what happened, but ordinary people definitely can't hurt her. It's just that my upgrade plan may be ruined. This mercenary group is probably eager to kill him now. The two of them continued walking towards Liwo City, but only took a few steps. Caier suddenly took Suren's hand and said, "Brother, there are many people in front of you." Hearing this, Suren became alert. Although he couldn't see it, Caier probably wouldn't be innocent. "Can you tell who it is?" Caier's eyes lit up with fire, and after staring ahead for a while, she said, "It's those big bad guys who want to catch me. Let's take a detour." It seemed that those mercenaries already knew that they wanted to return to Liwo City and blocked the road in advance. Suren's block has a 1-second cooldown. If there are many people on the opponent's side, plus there are assassins, Suren was not absolutely sure that he could kill them all first without being harmed. These people are all above rank 4, and Suren competes with them to see who can attack first. He didn't want to take the chance. Just when the two were preparing to take a detour, 2 flying pets flew from the sky carrying the two of them. They seemed to be patrolling nearby. Seeing these 2 flying beasts, Suren drew his sword and killed them without thinking. Now he has killed more than 20 people, and Suren doesn't care about 1 or 2 more. The cheetah mercenary group, which blocked the road in advance, discovered the death of the 2 patrolmen as soon as Suren killed them. "Captain, our patrol was killed 2 kilometers ahead." After Shibao heard this, he immediately stood up and ordered, "It must be those 2 people, everyone, chase after me. Also, be careful with that kid's sword drawing skills. Damn it, who did I think he was? It turns out to be that kid who became famous recently. It seems that it is true that he killed the Cyclops alone." Shibao had already recognized Suren through the video sent by the spies of the Tiger mercenary group. "Brother, they are coming." Caier anxiously told Suren. "How many people?" "There are 548 in total, divided into 3 directions and surrounding us." "So much?" Suren glanced at his current position and realized that he couldn't fight forcefully, so he could only find a way to escape. "Yes. Now that people in Liwo City are afraid to leave the city after receiving the news, there will definitely be no one to attack the dungeon in the wild." Suren picked up Caier and ran to the nearest dungeon. The cheetah mercenary group is famous for its speed, and Suren and the 2 of them cannot outrun them if they run barefoot. Before Suren reached the door of the dungeon, more than a dozen flying beasts had appeared in the sky. The moment these people saw Suren, they launched an attack. A quantum missile appeared directly above Suren and then crashed down. Gunner. Ordinary firearms in this world are useless to professionals, but gunners who have been converted from archers can use firearms to kill professionals. Moreover, their large weapon skills are highly lethal and have a wide range of damage. Just like this quantum missile. Boom! Huge explosions and shock waves came, and the whole earth trembled. Haha, the leader is actually afraid of this child. If he eats my quantum missile, he will definitely die. Captain, this won't kill the target we want to capture, right? Don't worry, that little girl is not simple. It's impossible for me to kill her with this injury. Before this small team even descended to the ground, a sword light swept out. Everyone was shocked. Small. Before he finished speaking, the entire team was killed by Suren's knife. After doing all this, Suren picked up Caier and continued running towards the dungeon. Less than 10 seconds later, Shibao arrived. All vanguard troops obey the order and must not underestimate the enemy when they see them. They must attack continuously until the main force arrives. This kid also has invincible skills. With instant kill and invincible skills that ignored the level gap, Shibao found that he still underestimated this boy. Shibao has made up his mind to kill Suren. Otherwise he will have trouble sleeping and eating. 1 minute later. Looking at the copy portal in front of him, Suren breathed a sigh of relief. Finally reached. After looking at the black dots appearing in the sky, Suren took Caier into the dungeon. Where are the people? Shiveo arrived in his special chariot, looked at the vanguard and asked. Return to the leader, they have entered the dungeon. Shibao looked at the copy portal and smiled. Oh, does this count as seeking medical attention in a hurry? Although they cannot enter the dungeon to hunt down, the maximum stay time in a dungeon is 3 hours. After 3 hours, you will be forced to exit regardless of whether you have cleared the copy or not. In Shibao's view, there is no difference between this and throwing himself into a trap. Stay around the copy and don't let a fly go. Half an hour later, the Tiger mercenary group also arrived here. Shibao, where are the people? Zhao Hu stepped forward and stood in front of Shibao like a hill. They chased for a long time, but didn't see a single figure. Hearing from his subordinates that Shibao and his men were stationed here, Zhao Hu was not stupid and immediately led his men to chase him. No comment. Although Shibao is thin, he is not as powerful as Zhao Hu. The two looked at each other fiercely. Hey, stone monkey, do you think I won't know if you don't tell me? Have they entered the dungeon? Zhao Hu waved his hand and ordered his subordinates. Everyone is stationed here, and we are waiting. 2 hours later, the two mercenary groups began to become restless. Everyone had a look of anxiety on their faces. Someone in the Tiger Legion finally couldn't bear it anymore and said to Zhao Hu. Captain, it's going to be dark soon, we can't wait any longer. It takes at least more than an hour to get to Fire City from here. If we wait any longer, we will definitely not be able to enter the city before dark. Zhao Hu looked at the time and then at the sky. Somewhat unwillingly, he glanced at the copy without any fluctuations and said helplessly. Tiger Corps, obey the order and leave the Fire City. Haha, Zhao Hu, are you leaving now? Why don't you wait a little longer? Shibao looked at Zhao Hu with a mocking look. Their cheetah mercenary group is fast and can wait for another half hour, so they are not too panicked. Humph, if you dare, just wait here until dark. After Zhao Hu finished speaking, he turned around and left, not daring to stay for more than a minute. No one dares to stay in the wild at night, and those who dare to stay are already dead. Not many people knew what would appear at night. They only knew that those who did not return to the city before dark never appeared again. It is said that the reason why the city is safe is because it is protected by the Temple of Awakening. Each city is also built around the Temple of Awakening. Another half hour passed. Shiveo couldn't stay any longer. Fuck, does he want to die? He hasn't come out yet. Forget it, go back to the city and stop him. Shiveo summoned his men and rushed to Liwo City quickly. The place outside the dungeon that was bustling just now suddenly became quiet. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 33. Within the copy. Suren swiped one picture and didn't continue to swipe it. Caier's level is too high, and this copy doesn't give Suren any experience at all. Brother, when are we going out? The two sat side by side on the ground, staring into the distance in boredom. Wait, you can go out when it gets dark outside. Although it was a risky endeavor, Suren did it anyway. There were too many opponents, and Suren was not sure of victory. Whenever a sustained damage skill hits him, he will die in their hands. Caier, have you ever stayed outdoors at night? At night? I'm outside all the time. Hearing this answer, Suren looked at her in surprise and asked. Then were you in any danger? Caier shook her head. No, I was sleeping. Suren's mouth twitched. Sleeping in the wild at night? Isn't it said that it's dangerous outside the city at night? Surenzan wondered how she had survived until now. There are still 30 minutes until the end of the instance. Listening to this prompt, Suren took out the magic sword Thousand Blades. Half an hour passed quickly. When the dungeon time ended, Suren and Caier were forced to exit the dungeon. It was getting dark by now. The mercenary group has been completely withdrawn, and there is no other sound except the wind. Is there nothing wrong? The rumors are so evil. As soon as Suren finished speaking, a piercing scream appeared behind Suren. Suren activated the blocking skill without thinking. The block is successful, but the perfect block is not unlocked and proficiency cannot be obtained. Suren turned around and saw a bat-like creature appearing there, but it had a pair of huge black claws. Nightmare, Special. Grade : Affiliation, Suren. Physique, Invisible Body. Physical Attack, 9999999. Magic Attack, 0. Health Volume, 9999999. Physical Defense / Magic Defense, 0/0. Skills: Claw Attack, Follow like a Shadow. Explanation: everyone has a nightmare in their heart. When you meet it, you are already a corpse. After reading the information about this thing, Suren only felt his scalp numb. This attack power and blood volume are too outrageous. If you get hit, you will definitely die, and this invisible body is the same as the resentful spirit at the bottom of the boat. Suren couldn't attack it at all. Suren had just finished reading the information when the nightmare struck again. Suren blocked again. Then nightmare stayed for 3 seconds and attacked Suren again, repeating the same move. It seems to have only this one skill. This nightmare didn't attack Caier, but just stared at Suren. Suren glanced at the column of its data panel and guessed that everyone would have a nightmare. Only at night in the wild would this nightmare come out to attack him. However, its attack speed is very slow. By the time it attacks Suren, Suren's block has already cooled down. Just like this, one defense and one attack, the situation turned out to be deadlocked. Suren tried to run a certain distance, but no matter where Suren ran, this nightmare would follow him and he could not get rid of it at all. In other words, Suren has unlimited blocking skills to block it. Anyone else would definitely die under its claws within 10 seconds. No wonder everyone says that the wilderness at night is dangerous. This is no longer dangerous. This is just looking for death. Suren was in a stalemate with it for a while, then simply sat down on the ground. I definitely won't be able to sleep tonight. This thing has no plans to stop. That's not right, Caier, why didn't a nightmare appear next to you? Suren stared at Caier curiously. Logically speaking, this nightmare should be something everyone has. I don't know. Caier spread her hands. By the way, this thing must be a monster too, right? I wonder if I can use the beast catching skill. After Suren's block is completed, the beast catching skill is activated. Failed to capture, proficiency add 1. It's really possible. Suren became a little excited. If the 0.1% chance was triggered. If you catch a nightmare and use it as a pet, it's not invincible. Thinking of this, Suren grabbed it tirelessly. From the gate of Fire City. The members of the Tiger Mercenary Group and the Cheetah Mercenary Group took up the positions at the city gate, one on the left and the other on the right. The professionals in Liwo City didn't dare to look at them and could only discuss them from a distance. Why did these two mercenary groups escape us from Fire City? I heard that they were arresting people in the extremely hot land. I guess they didn't catch anyone. Come to our place and spend the night before dark. It's already dark. Who can come back from the wild? This is also the doubt of Shibao and Zhao Hu. This kid won't come back until dark. Will he die? If he dies, he dies. If that little girl dies, won't I suffer a loss? More than 20 of Zhao Hu's brothers have died, and none of them have been caught. He became angry when he thought of this. He had suffered a huge loss in this transaction. Humph, I've also lost more than 10 brothers. I wish I could chop that kid alive. Letting him die outside would really be an advantage for him. Just when the two were depressed, their employer sent a message. She can't die outside. Go catch her immediately after dawn and come to see me. The reward will be doubled. Seeing this news, the two of them felt happy. As long as the person to be arrested this time is fine, with the increased reward, it doesn't seem like it would be a bad idea to kill those brothers. Zhao Hu rolled his eyes and suddenly said to Shibao, "Stone Monkey, now the reward has been tripled. How about we join forces? Then we can share the reward equally. This way everyone can make money and it won't hurt the harmony, what do you think?" The cheetah mercenary group's speed is its advantage, and Zhao Hu is afraid of being beaten first by him, so he decides to pretend to cooperate with him. When the time comes, we will use the combat power of our own corps to rob people by force. As Zhao Hu's old rival, how could Shibao not know what Zhao Hu was thinking? He decided to pretend to agree to the other party, and then rely on the speed advantage of his own corps to get rid of Zhao Hu. Okay, let's catch the little girl first and then discuss the reward. Hey, it's easy to talk. The night is still very long. Come and have a drink. I think so too. The two looked at each other and smiled. Start calling each other brothers. Under the night sky, a bonfire has been raised not far from the Fire City. Suren and Caier were sitting by the campfire, and there was a nightmare that attacked Suren every 3 seconds. Failed to capture, proficiency add 1. After being caught dozens of times, Suren was used to it and didn't care. Caier, have you ever considered that you are not actually a human being? Suren combined her information with all the anomalies and analyzed it. I found that no matter how I looked at it, Caier was not a strong person with amnesia. First of all, level 680 will only appear on monsters. Normal people should be level 6 to 80. The second is the explanation of nightmares. Everyone has a nightmare in their heart. Is everyone here really a person? Nightmares attack humans only at night when humans appear in the wild. And monsters don't produce nightmares. Thinking about it this way, all the strange things seem to make sense. Then why do I look like a human? Caier said, puzzled. For it. This stopped Suren. It is true that no monster can take the form of a human. The monsters in this world are all stereotyped. I have never heard of any talk of monsters transforming into shapes. But in this case, it doesn't make sense whether Caier is a human or not. Suren didn't know which link had gone wrong. Seeing that the cooldown of the beast catching skill was over, Suren used it again. Successful capture, congratulations on getting a mythical beast. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 34. Seeing this prompt, Suren was stunned for a moment. Then comes ecstasy. What the hell, a mythical beast? Suren excitedly opened the system panel, and sure enough, there was an additional pet pen. A 5-color magical bird is staying there quietly. Suren clicked on her message and glanced at it. 5-color phoenix, weak. Level, divine beast. Master, Suren. Level 680. Physical attack, 360,000. Magic attack, 585,000. HP, 1205800/6800000. Blue amount, 856975/2680000. Physical defense/magic defense, 47800/6600000. Skills, World Destroying Flames, 5-color Divine Light, Rebirth from the Fire, Eye of Insight, Phoenix Cry, Transformation. Explanation: the ancient divine beast has been sealed by an unknown force until now, and has just opened its mind. After reading the information, Suren was stunned. Didn't I capture the nightmare? Where did this five-color phoenix come from? Suren suddenly seemed to remember something and turned to look to the side. Caier's figure has long disappeared. The block is successful, but the perfect block is not unlocked and the proficiency cannot be increased. After looking at the nightmare that was still attacking him, Suren looked at the five-color phoenix. It turns out that Caier was the one I kept catching. The person who really triggered the beast catching skill was Caier, who had been staying by his side. Suren hurriedly summoned the five-color phoenix. Just hearing a phoenix cry, a phoenix bathed in five-color divine light appeared in the sky. The gorgeous feathers combined with her peerless figure make her worthy of the name of a mythical beast. Brother, what's wrong with me? Phoenix uttered human words and looked at his body strangely. Caier, you are the ancient divine beast Phoenix, you are not a human being. Suren looked at her transformation skills, maybe that's why she could transform into human form. This is also the first time Suren has heard that monsters can take the form of humans. This way everything can be explained. The place of extreme inflammation is actually the place where Caier was sealed and was influenced by her. Only extremely hot places have such high temperatures all year round. After Caier leaves, the extreme flame land should cool down. For some unknown reason, Caier broke free from the seal and walked out into a little girl. Because she had just transformed and opened her mind, she behaved like a little girl. By some mistake, Suren used his animal catching skills to turn her into his own pet. Caier, you can transform and come back. Try it yourself. Oh. Caier nodded, and 3 seconds later, the five-color phoenix transformed into a little girl again. It's true. Caier jumped happily, and then said with some doubts. Huh? Why do I feel like I can't leave my big brother now? Hearing this, Suren was a little embarrassed. Pet beasts definitely cannot leave their masters. Maybe it's because we are a family. You will be my sister from now on. Ah. Really? Then I have relatives too. Caier threw herself into Suren's arms, looking very happy. Suren touched her head, took out a blood bottle and handed it to her. Drink it and see if it can restore your blood. As Caier drank the blood bottle, her blood volume returned to several thousand. However, with her tens of millions of blood, this amount of blood is a drop in the bucket. Seeing that it was effective, Suren decided to buy more blood bottles after returning to the city to restore her blood volume to more than 10 million. As for the amount of mana, about 5 million should be enough. I will restore it all to her later when I have money. Blood bottles and blue bottles are very expensive, and Suren's tens of millions may not be enough to help her recover them all. That night, Caier was familiar with her skills, while Suren was tortured by nightmares all night. Brother, I can protect you from now on. Caier clenched her little fist confidently. In one night, she was able to use all her skills proficiently. When the sky got slightly brighter, the nightmare disappeared automatically, leaving no trace behind. Suren breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't sleep all night and didn't dare to let down his guard, which made him a little exhausted. But finally survived. Perhaps he was the first person to survive the night outside the city. Kyoto. In the offices of the presidents of major guilds. They accidentally received a message that Suren did not go back at night after leaving Luo City. What did you say? Wu Zhenyang, the president of Longwu Guild, was furious when he heard the news. The young man he was most optimistic about was gone. It is common sense that no one can return to the city alive after spending the night outside the city. What's going on? How could he not return to the city before nightfall? The messenger in front of Wu Zhenyang said anxiously. It is said that there were 2 mercenaries outside Luo City who had been guarding the city gate last night. They said they were arresting a boy and a little girl. It might be them. Before he could finish speaking, Wu Zhenyang said coldly. You are so brave that you dare to touch the person that our Dragon Martial Arts Guild likes. Send a message to the guild elders stationed in Yanzhou to go to Luo City. Don't let any of the 2 mercenary groups go. But President, we are not sure if they did it. Wu Zhenjiang's eyes turned cold. Does it matter? I just want results. Yes. Donghai City. Lu Wenwen's eyes darkened when he heard the news, and he almost fainted and fell to the ground. Come on, go to Luo City. Suren is the hope of Donghai City. If something happens to Suren, then Donghai City will definitely lose face this year. The embarrassment is nothing. When the time comes, the Li family of Universiad will definitely be the first to liquidate him. Suren is not only the hope of Donghai City, but also his hope. At the gate of Luo City, at dawn, people from the 2 mercenary groups rushed out of the city. Before he took 2 steps, he saw a 5-color phoenix flying from a distance carrying a young man. He's not dead. How can this be? Everyone stared dumbfounded at the man and beast approaching quickly in the distance. In Luo City, many professionals who got up early to watch the theater were also surprised when they saw this scene. I've been living for decades, and this is the first time I've seen someone come back from outside the city at dawn. Who is this young man? Could it be some big shot passing by? What kind of boss? You don't even know him. The genius in our Donghua prefecture, the man who killed the Cyclops alone, seems to be named Suren. How did he manage to spend a night outside the city safely? Suren looked at the 2 mercenary groups below and asked Caier to keep a certain distance. He dared to come back because Caier could fly. If these people didn't have flying beasts, they wouldn't be able to hit him. And he can take advantage of drawing his sword to cut regardless of distance. The reason why Suren didn't take the initiative now was entirely because this was the gate of the city. Killing someone in public is punishable by official arrest. Good morning everyone. Suren greeted them. Seeing Suren being so arrogant, Zhao Hu couldn't bear his violent temper anymore. Damn it, if you dare to come back, brothers, kill him. His subordinates dissuaded him. Captain, calm down, this is the gate of the city, so many people are watching. You're so scared. If you kill him, can't you just find someone to take the blame? Kill me. Now that Zhao Hu had given the order, the members of the Tiger mercenary group no longer had any scruples, and a mage directly struck Suren with a bolt of lightning. Caier easily escaped while carrying Suren. Suren was not angry, but smiled and said to the people watching the battle from a distance. Everyone saw it, they were the ones who made the first move. Next, I have to defend myself. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 35. Not good. Shibao was shocked when he heard this. He knew Suren's strength. Shibao reacted quickly, rolled over, and ran towards the city in hiding. As for other people, even if they knew Suren, they could only watch. By now, Suren pulled out his sword, and a flash of sword light flashed that made people unable to open their eyes. Boom! There was an explosion outside Luo City. Then countless amounts of soil flew up. Bah, bah, bah. The melon eaters who were closer took a mouthful of puree. What happened? Did Suren take action? Why don't the 2 mercenary groups fight back? This blow seems to be quite powerful. I don't know how many people were killed. These people are too brave. They dare to take action at the gate of the city. They don't take the authorities seriously at all. When the smoke cleared, Everyone took a closer look. A huge ravine appeared in the ground. The bodies of hundreds of people from the two major mercenary groups were scattered everywhere. The whole scene was like hell. Zhao Hu, the leader of the Tiger mercenary group, was cut into two pieces with his sword in his hand. There was no one left alive in the two mercenary groups. Looking at this scene, everyone felt their legs trembling. Someone swallowed hard and said in a trembling voice, all dead. These are all professionals with level 4 or above, and they are gone just like that. Everyone didn't even dare to look up to see the figure in the sky. Now, I said I was going to defend myself. I shouldn't be breaking the law, right? Caier carried Suren to Luo City. After landing, Suren took her into the pet space. If she transformed in public, she might cause trouble. Everyone hurriedly moved out of the way, fearing that Suren would also stab them. After hearing Suren's words, everyone couldn't help but complain. He killed hundreds of people in two mercenary groups, and he actually called this self-defense. But no one dared to say this. Whoever dares to mess with this fierce god now will suffer the consequences of hundreds of corpses. Shi Bao, who was lucky enough to escape hiding in the crowd, glanced at Suren and left quickly. It was so scary that I dared to chase him yesterday. He vowed never to meet Suren again in his life. As for the bullshit remuneration, what's the use of money when people are dead? He just wants to live well now, even if it's just barely. A breakfast shop in Luo City. After Suren released Caier in a corner, she brought her here. Boss, bring all your breakfasts. Suren discovered that Caier could not only restore blood but also mana by eating human food. This is much more cost-effective than the blood bottle and blue bottle. Huh? You two can't eat so much, can you? Suren smiled. It's okay, my sister is very good at eating. Half an hour later, Caier and Suren walked out of the breakfast shop together. The stunned boss was left looking at the dozen drawers in a daze. Hello, Mr. Su, I am Lin Taizhong, the Lord of Luo City. A man in a suit and leather boots stood in front of Suren with more than 20 people. When the crowd who followed Suren from a distance saw this scene, they all speculated. The city lord is here in person. He must be here to arrest him. That's no nonsense. So many people have died. If the city lord doesn't arrest him, he won't be able to explain to the superiors. If you don't understand, just ask, is the city lord his opponent? Everyone. City Lord Lin, hello, what's the matter? Suren asked. Lin Taizhong glanced at Suren and the little girl next to him, and probably guessed that this little girl was the one the mercenary group wanted to arrest. That's it? According to the laws of the Dragon Kingdom, professionals are not allowed to fight for no reason. If there is a reason why they have to fight, they need to sign a life and death certificate. So, after Lin Taizhong finished speaking, he felt a little uneasy. He was also afraid. If the master in front of him doesn't agree with him, just give him a knife and he will be finished. But if this happened and he, as the manager of Luo City, didn't take care of it, he would be doomed. So he had no choice but to come to Suren. This matter, City Lord Lin, there were so many people watching at that time, I was acting in self-defense. Suren pretended to be innocent. You can't wrongly accuse a Maihashi citizen, right? Hearing this, Lin Tishan's heart was already racing. Let's have some shame. Whoever killed everyone in self-defense didn't spare anyone. I think you seem to be killing people and silencing them. You are a good citizen of Sanyeo. You really mean what you say. Mr. Su, the definition of this matter has to be decided by the higher UPS, so can you two please come with me? I have prepared a room. It is a small villa with an area of 300 square meters right next to my city lord's palace. The other two of you can tell me if you want something to eat, and it will be delivered to you. Since City Lord Lin has said so, I will go there. Everyone is like this, and Suren can't let them get off stage. Lin Taizhong wiped the sweat from his forehead. Fortunately, no accident occurred. This trip had frightened him quite a bit, and now that he was staying for the time being, he was relieved. Hey, don't you think the city lord is arresting someone, but rather inviting a guest? It's not like that at all, that's what it is. I even saw the city lord nodding and bowing. Ahem, be careful what you say. The city lord is famous for being petty. If he hears it later, he will definitely put on your shoes. Before these people finished speaking, Lin Tishan's eyes glanced over. Then he quickly followed Suren and the two who were walking at the front. It's over, the city lord heard it. Brothers who were talking about the city lord just now, hurry up and run away. It's not too late to run away now. As soon as Lu Wenwen got off the flying boat, he heard the news that Suren had returned from outside the city alive. This surprised and excited him at the same time. As long as Suren was fine, he didn't care how Suren survived. But the next thing immediately changed his expression. You bastard, Laolin, doesn't you know that Suren is from Donghai City? I'll go find him to settle the score. At this time, Suren was chatting with Lin Taizhong in the villa. Caier sat at the table and kept eating. Lin Taizhong couldn't help but take a sneak peek. He suspected that this girl was the reincarnation of Dowdy. It's been almost 2 hours since I ate this and I'm still eating. Don't worry, City Master Lin, this is my little sister's hobby. Haha, this hobby is quite, very good. At this time a person came in and reported. City Lord Lu of Donghai City is here. Lin Taizhong glanced at Suren curiously, and then ordered his subordinates. Bring him in. Suren was a little touched when he heard that Lu Wenwen came in person. No matter what happens, he will arrive as soon as possible. No matter Lu Wenwen did it for face, or for something else. At least he genuinely cares about himself. After a while, Lu Wenwen walked in. After seeing Lin Taizhong, he was scolded all over his face. Old Lin, do you still regard me as your brother? Do you want to capture my people too? Hurry up and release Suren. If you dare to influence his leveling, I will fight you forever. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 36. After Lu Wenwen finished cursing, he looked at Suren and asked. Suren, are you okay? Who bullied you? Just tell me and I will make the decision for you. Suren smiled and shook his head. Lord City Lord, no one is bullying me, I am bullying others. What? Who was bullied by you? Is he qualified enough? After Lu Wenwen finished speaking, he glanced at Lin Taizhong aside. Lin Taizhong looked at the two people speechlessly. I said you two are fighting against me here. Stop talking nonsense and let him go quickly. Lu Wenwen urged. Lin Taizhong shook his head and said helplessly. It's not like you don't know, Lao Lu. If I don't care about something like this, then will I, the city lord, still do it? You are also a city lord. You have to be reasonable, right? What's the point? Those mercenaries have done a lot of murders and arson. Why don't you take care of them? Lin Taizhong smiled bitterly upon hearing this. Their headquarters is not in Woluwo City. What's more, they do things flawlessly and leave no evidence at all. They can't control it even if they want to. Just tell me whether they have done any dirty things. Lu Wenwen asked. Lin Taizhong nodded. That's fine, Suren is doing justice to God by killing them. What's more, Suren was acting in self-defense. Let me go quickly. Lin Taizhong shook his head, no, I have already sent the incident to the governor. I need the governor's reply before I make a decision. So Suren can't leave Luo city now. Damn, I've been telling you for a long time that you are so incompetent. There was nothing Lu Wenchen could do. Hundreds of people died. This matter was indeed too big for them to handle. Half an hour later, a cry appeared over the villa. Then a person jumped off Li Yuanhe and appeared in the yard. He Xiao, the elder of the Long Martial Arts Association in Yanzhou. When Lin Taizheng and Lu Wenzheng saw this person, they quickly stood up and said, "I've met Elder He. I wonder what Elder He is doing." Lin Taizheng asked. "Oh, the president asked me to check if Suren is safe, but I heard that he came back from outside the city alive." Lin Taizheng couldn't help but be shocked again after hearing the other party's reasons. The president of the Dragon Martial Arts Guild personally sent someone to inquire about Suren's background. If the other party wanted someone from him, he really didn't know what to do. Lin Taizheng had to tell what happened carefully without missing a word. He Xiao was surprised at first. He didn't expect Suren to come back alive after staying outside all night. Then he frowned and said, "Since a human life has been lost, it is naturally up to the authorities to make the decision. Our Dragon Martial Arts Guild naturally respects the laws of the Dragon Kingdom." Lin Taizheng said to himself that it was okay, the other party was a reasonable person and did not force him to ask for someone. He Xiao glanced at the courtyard and asked, "Is Suren here?" Lin Taizheng pointed to the room and said, "He didn't sleep all night last night and was catching up on his sleep." He Xiao nodded. "In that case, I'm leaving first." After saying that, He Xiao jumped on Li Yuanhe and left. On the way back, He Xiao sent what happened to Wu Zhenyang. Wu Zhenyang was slightly shocked when he learned that Suren was not dead. How did this kid escape the nightmare? He brings more and more surprises to me. No, I have to go to the Department of Justice. This matter to him is neither a big deal nor a small matter. It would be bad if it delays him from taking the big exam. After Wu Zhenyang muttered, he left the Longluo Guild and flew to the Ministry of Justice. Donghua Prefecture, the governor's mansion. Yan Hai looked at the report submitted by Lin Taizheng with a sneer on his lips. "Finally I got a chance. No one knows that he is the cousin of Li Wanqing, the young owner of Daeun Trading Company. If he hadn't supported Daeun Trading Company behind the scenes, Li Wanqing's father would never have been able to open Daeun Trading Company to every city in the state. 70% of all profits of Daeun Trading Company were given to Yan Hai. Now that Daeun Trading Company has collapsed, his income has dropped by more than half. This is undoubtedly a pain in his heart. He always wanted to kill Suren and Lu Wenwen, the culprits of this matter. This time he found an opportunity to openly suppress Suren." Yan Hai replied to Lin Taizheng. "Suren killed hundreds of innocent people in the name of defense. People and gods are outraged. These thieves cannot be punished. Now I order you to escort Suren to the provincial capital immediately without any mistakes." After doing all this, Yan Hai smiled with satisfaction. "Fight with me? Looking for death?" After reading the message, Lin Taizheng showed the message to Lu Wenzheng. Lu Wenwen didn't believe it after reading it and said, "How can this be? Suren's case, even if he was overly defensive, should not be punishable. Are you sure this was sent to you by the governor?" Lin Taizheng nodded. "See for yourself, there is the governor's signature on the back. This cannot be faked." How could this happen? Lu Wenwen still couldn't believe it. It's impossible that the governor doesn't know Suren's strength. After this exam, Suren will definitely become famous all over the world. How could he make such a decision? "Sorry, Lao Lu, I don't dare to disobey the governor's order. I need to take Suren to the provincial capital now. Please tell me something and ask him to cooperate as much as possible. If he resists, there will really be no room for maneuver. While Suren is in custody, you can find someone for help. I will try my best to delay him. Lu Wenwen had to nod. After the two woke Suren up, they told him that they would take him to the provincial capital and temporarily imprison him. Suren only replied with the word good. Lin Taizhong escorted Suren and Caier onto the flying boat heading to the provincial capital. Lu Wenwen contacted his friends in the previous guild for help. It took less than 2 hours to get to Huachan, which is very close to the provincial capital. As soon as we got off the flying boat, dozens of people in uniforms gathered around us. One of them took out an ID card, looked at it at Lin Taizhong, and said, "City Master Lin, you can go back, we will deliver them." Lin Taizhong frowned and said, "But the governor asked me to bring people here in person. I haven't seen the governor yet. Isn't this against the rules?" "City Lord Lin, this is also the governor's order, please obey it. Take away. These people came directly to catch Suren. Let go of my brother." Caier looked at these people angrily, showing signs of transformation. Suren was afraid that her transformation in front of so many people would lead to death, so he comforted her and said, "Caier, I'm fine. City Master Lin, please take care of her for the time being." Lin Taizhong nodded. "Don't worry, I will protect her." In the deep dungeon, the air was filled with a wet smell. After Suren was locked up in a cell, no one came to him again. Suren believed that someone would give him justice, so he did not resist and was arrested by them. If not, then he will have no choice but to bring justice to himself. "Little brother, what did you commit that got you imprisoned?" In a cell next to him, a prisoner looked at Suren curiously. "No one has been in this place for a long time. In self-defense, I killed about 800 or 900 people." "What?" The man looked at Suren with a look of horror on his face, not expecting that he could be so cruel at such a young age. He was only captured because he accidentally killed a professional. This guy was good, he killed hundreds of people, and he dared to call it self-defense. He had to give Suren a thumbs up and admired him. "Little brother, you are so awesome. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife." Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 37. When Suren was imprisoned, a video titled "The First Person to Come Back Alive After Spending the Night in the Wild," quickly became a hot search topic. In the video, the sky was slightly brighter, and a young man returned from the wild sitting calmly on a 5-color sacred bird. Hundreds of mercenaries were killed with a wave of his hand. It's him again. How did he survive a night outside the city? Is there no danger outside the city at night? I will broadcast live to everyone tonight. Brothers above, be careful. If you don't understand, just ask, is this person famous? He is Suren, the peerless genius in Donghai City. I don't know what dispute these mercenaries have with him. I know these mercenaries. They are from our Nanming city. Their leader is a master of rank 6 or above. I can't believe that he can't catch any move. As expected, Suren has a second-person skill as rumored on the internet, but I don't know how long the cooldown time of his second-person skill is. At this time someone questioned. Isn't this Suren too arrogant? Killing so many people in public, what's the difference between this and a demon? Isn't this just self-defense? Whoever kills hundreds of people in self-defense is completely unilateral revenge. I heard that he has been imprisoned by people from Donghua Prefecture. It is said that he killed innocent people indiscriminately and cannot be punished. The governor personally issued the order. Everyone, please stop scolding and let the bullets fly for a while. I think things will definitely turn around. Inside the governor's mansion of Donghua Prefecture. Your Excellency, the governor has been imprisoned in the dungeon. Well, keep an eye on him and don't let him escape from prison. Yanhai looked at the scolding about Suren on the internet and felt extremely happy. Ha ha ha, God is really helping me. It's not that I want you to die now, but public opinion wants you to die. If I kill you, I can still leave a good impression in the hearts of netizens. Yanhai looked at the person in front of him and said, "After tonight, Suren will be executed tomorrow morning." But what Yanhai doesn't know is that netizens are a double-edged sword. If you are not careful, you will be hurt instead. A few hours later, seeing that the video went viral, more and more people condemned Suren's atrocities and demanded Suren be executed. The author of the video had to come out and explain. These two mercenary groups are arresting a little girl. Suren is also forced by them not to return to the city. It seems that the little girl is Suren's sister. The reason why he came out to explain was that he was afraid of killing people because of his video. His original intention was to show that Suren could come back alive from outside the city at night, but it turned out to be self-defeating. Netizens' attention focused entirely on Suren's massacre of the mercenary group. After explaining, he reposted a video of Suren being taken away with CAIER. Following his explanation, the trend of online public opinion changed again. Everyone began to reveal the dirty things done by organizations like mercenaries. Sure enough, there is a reversal, Hisa speaks. What a poor little girl, these mercenaries really deserve to die. So that's it? Whoever dares to bully my family will not let him go. I support Mr. Sorensen. Brothers, let Donghua Prefecture's defense release him. Suren is acting in legitimate defense. Don't these idiots have a firm stand? They are all just idiots. Looking at the many netizens who were calling for Suren to be executed just now they want him to be released. Yanhai angrily slapped the desk in front of him to pieces. Mr. Governor, there is a little girl outside with a group of people holding banners, demanding that we release her brother immediately. Say we were unfair. Yanhai sneered. Huh, let him go? That's a good idea. I am in charge of Donghua Prefecture, and no one can threaten me. Let them shout outside. Less than half an hour later. Sir Governor, guilds from other states and dozens of city lords from other states jointly request you to find out the truth of the matter before making a decision. Say, so that you don't wrongly accuse a good man. What did you say? Yanhai stood up and walked to the window and glanced at the crowd of protesters outside the governor's mansion. He said with increasing anger. There is so much energy behind Suren, and he actually united netizens and people from all walks of life to put pressure on me. But does he think I'll let him go? No one from other states or these netizens have the right to interfere with my affairs in Donghua Prefecture. I left my words here today, it's useless for anyone to come. It will be a long night and many dreams. Go and kill Suren immediately. Before Yanhai finished speaking, there was a knock on the office door. Dong dong dong. After the door opened, 5 people in black uniforms walked in. After seeing Yanhai, the leader took out an ID photo, looked at him and said, "Governor Yan, we are from the Ministry of Justice. Following the minister's order, we are here to ask you to release Suren immediately. At the same time, from now on, you will be punished because of unfair enforcement of the law and being reported for abusing your power. Temporarily strip you of your position as governor and allow us to investigate. Please come with us." What? This is impossible. You must be actors hired by Suren, you are all fake. Yanhai didn't believe how an 18-year-old kid could have so much energy to ask so many people to help him. Governor Yan, please cooperate with the investigation. Cooperate? You are all fake, let me see your true colors. Yanhai roared angrily, red light flashed on his fist, and a red glove appeared on his hand. Yanhai clenched his fist and punched these people. The leader was not afraid at all when he saw this. The 4 people behind him had appeared in all 4 directions of Yanhai the moment Yanhai punched him. Each of the 4 people took out a black glass ball the size of a fist. 4 beams of light shone into Yan Hai's limbs. The next moment Yan Hai felt that all his attributes were frozen and all his skills turned gray. The body can move except for the head, but other parts of the body can no longer move. 4 directions forbidden technique. You are really from the Department of Justice. Yan Hai finally despaired. This is something unique to the Ministry of Justice, made from 4 epic material forbidden beads and runes. The copy of the Forbidden Pearl is controlled by the Ministry of Justice, so no one can copy it. This is something the Ministry of Justice often uses when arresting people. For professionals below level 8, no one can escape its control. Humph, take it away. Inside the dungeon, the prisoner in the next cell chatted with Suren. Little brother, according to my observation, a person as heinous as you has not survived more than 3 days. In your case, you will probably be executed tomorrow. At this time, several people came in, opened the door of Suren's room, and said, Suren, you can go. What? The prisoner next to Suren glanced at Suren in disbelief. Are you mistaken? He killed hundreds of people and was imprisoned for a few hours. I accidentally killed someone and you have imprisoned me for many years. I'm not convinced. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 38. When Suren walked out of the dungeon, a group of people were already waiting outside. Brother, you finally came out. Cair ran over happily. Suren looked at the protest banner in the distance and asked. Do these belong to you, Bishop Link Hung? Cair nodded. Suren, are you afraid of what happened this time? A reporter asked. Suren accepted interviews from these people this time. It can be said that these people also played a role in saving him. I have never been afraid because I believe in everyone and the authorities will give me justice. Then if you had the choice again, would you still kill all those mercenaries? Of course they will. Their evil deeds are countless. Even if I were asked to choose another 10,000 times, I would still give the same answer. I am sworn in with evil. Applause rang out from all around, praising Suren for his bravery. Then Suren was interviewed for more than half an hour. In a dark corner of Yanzhou, a man wrapped in darkness watched the interview on TV. After letting out a weird laugh, he said in a hoarse voice. So, she is here. After the crowd dispersed, Lin Taizhong came out from the corner. After Suren entered, he already knew what was happening in the outside world. Seeing Lin Taizhong coming over, Suren thanked. Thank you City Master Lin for your help. You must have asked someone to upload the video online. The title of the video was originally meant to attract people to watch, but the real purpose was to let people see the scene where Suren massacred the mercenaries. Later, when the matter escalated to the point where the whole network was the most criticized, he came out to explain why Suren did this. Out of guilt, netizens who had scolded him would spontaneously speak out for Suren. If everything had been posted online from the beginning, it would never have caused such a big reaction. I have to say that Lin Taizhong is definitely not a simple person. Haha, just help Lao Lu. He begged everyone in our original guild to save you. Suren nodded. Lu Wenwen was indeed helping him sincerely. Suren will never forget his kindness. Are you going back to Donghai City or somewhere else? I'll go to your Luo city first. I still have things to do. After the series of things happened, Suren had not yet reached the level. Okay, let's go, there is one last flight at this point. Early the next morning, Suren took Cair out of the city and walked to the extremely hot land. Cair waited until no one was around before transforming into a 5-color phoenix and carrying Suren to fly to the extremely fiery land. Brother, why can't I transform in a crowded place? Because people's hearts are complex and changeable. I guess the purpose of those mercenaries catching you is to study your transformation ability. The employers behind them must know something about you. Cair nodded in understanding. Suren still didn't dare to enter the extremely fiery place, so he could only let Cair use the eye of insight to see where there were enough monsters on the edge. Her insightful eyes can detect distant situations thousands of miles away, which is most useful for exploring the wild and looking for monsters. Brother, I found it. There are more than 10 stone-like monsters over there. Cair carried Suren and flew around the extreme flame land for a while, then stopped outside. Suren looked around and saw more than a dozen giant lava beasts covered in fire squatting on the side of the mountain in a daze. You can tell by their appearance that they are not very smart. Lava beast. Level 400. Physical attack, 21,600. Magic attack, 59,500. HP, 3 million. Physical defense/magic defense, 68,000/49,000. Skills, Petrified Skin, Rock Assault, Earth Shock, Crash. Explanation, it is said that all lava beasts share the same brain. After reading the information, Suren drew his sword from the air and took them away. You killed 12 lava beasts and gained 3,600,000 experience points. Since you killed monsters by leapfrogging, you were awarded an additional 360,000 experience points. Your level has been upgraded to level 100. You can no longer gain experience. Please go to the Temple of Awakening to change jobs. The level of your pet is higher than yours and you cannot gain experience. Seeing this last prompt, Suren was stunned for a moment. Normally, no one's pet beast can be higher than the owner's level, but Suren's beast catching skills are quite special, allowing Suren to have a pet beast far beyond his level. Question: how can I upgrade Cair? Do you have to wait until you reach level 6 to level 80? Unable to figure this out, Suren decided to go back and take a look at the second turn mission. There was less than a week left before the big exam, and he wanted to see if he could complete the second transfer task. Let's fly directly to the east and go home. Cair was faster than Fiazhu. On the way, Suren sent a message to Lin Taizhong saying that he had returned to Donghai City. That morning, Donghua Prefecture's official website issued an announcement. Yanhai abused his power for personal gain during his tenure as governor. Now he is sentenced to 2.5 years to work on the battlefield outside the world. The position of governor of Donghua State is temporarily vacant, and will be selected from among the city lords of each city in 10 days. As soon as this news came out, the city lords of the major cities in Donghua Prefecture couldn't help but become a little restless. They actually have the opportunity to run for governor. Who wouldn't want to take that further? But the timing of this campaign also makes people think deeply, because the exam will end in 10 days. Does this mean that the scores of each city in this major exam will affect their election? Thinking that the city lords of these major cities have become more active in establishing good relations with the talented people in their cities, and even responded to their requests. They can help whenever there is a problem. Lu Wenwen smiled slightly when he saw the news. You just remembered it now. It's too late. Fortunately, I was smart and established a relationship with Suren early. This time it can be said to be a blessing in disguise. When Suren returned to Donghai City, it was already afternoon. Outside the city, Suren took Cair back into the beast space. Otherwise, taking a little girl with her all the time outside the city would easily arouse suspicion. Inside the Temple of Awakening. Welcome, Professional Suren. Your level has reached the second transfer requirement. Do you want to accept the second transfer mission? Yes. Your second transfer mission has been delivered. 1 turn in any silver equipment above level 150x5. 2 turn in the Stone of Flame times 30, the Stone of Extreme Cold times 30, and the Stone of Thick Earth times 30. 3 clear the Hell difficulty Nightmare Forest copy, kill the boss Forest Queen and get her crown. The crown is not 100% dropped. Note, Except for equipment, other materials must be obtained by professionals in person and cannot be obtained through purchases, gifts, etc. Looking at these tasks, Suren felt that he was being targeted by the Awakening Temple, and his job transfer task seemed to be difficult every time. He had checked and found that other people's job transfer missions had never heard of requiring them to clear the Hell difficulty dungeon. The most they can do is collect some materials and clear some normal or adventure dungeons. This Awakening Temple still depends on what others do. Does it feel like it's too easy to level up so it's a little more difficult for you? Suren shook his head, not thinking about this. Currently, except for the first mission which can be completed immediately, the other two require traveling to other states. So Suren decided to practice his proficiency in catching animals and river gods a few days before the big exam. Other than that, I was silently waiting for the big exam to come. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 39. Early the next morning, Suren went out and went straight to the place where he used to practice. As the big exam is approaching, young girls can be seen outside Donghai City at any time. There are a total of 30 cities in Donghua Prefecture, and each city has about 400 vocational candidates. The total number of people in the 30 cities is as many as more than 10,000. To stand out among more than 10,000 people, in addition to talent, potential, and career, hard work is more important. As long as you keep leveling up every day, you will always gain something. Suren released Cair while practicing by the river. She was afraid of water, so she stayed far away from the shore and caught a 10-level soft-bone rabbit to play with. It might be level suppression, or it might be bloodline suppression. The soft-bone rabbit didn't resist and didn't dare to run, letting her need it. 4 or 5 days passed quietly like this. Early that morning, as soon as Suren went out, he received a message from Ling Qingxiu. I don't know where she got her contact information. Suren, are you free today? Can you come and help me with the job transfer task? Thank you. Where are you? Here at the city gate. Okay, I'll be there in a moment. After Suren replied the message, he walked towards the city gate. After asking around that day, the landlord Lu Huifen found out that Suren had deceived her and he didn't want to help her at all. She originally wanted to ask Suren for help again, but after hearing that Suren killed hundreds of mercenaries with one sword, she had no idea anymore. Now she hides away when Suren goes out, for fear that Suren will look at her. Before reaching the city gate, Suren saw Ling Qingxiu, Tingtinjiu, standing at the edge of the city gate from a distance. Today she wore a pair of simple and smart clothes, which fully showed off her figure. Her angelic face and perfect curves make the boys and girls passing by turn their heads frequently. Suren looked at her clothes and guessed that today's task would not be simple. However, the copy of Donghai City was no longer difficult for him. Suren, here. Seeing Suren coming, Ling Qingxiu smiled, jumped up and waved. Other people passing by were secretly looking at Ling Qingxiu at this time. After hearing her shout, they followed her gaze and looked at Suren. Is he Suren? It doesn't look much different from us. I thought it had 3 heads and 6 arms. With him here, I might only be able to get second place in this big test. What a pity. How can you die if you don't brag about your 3-star potential? Have you reached level 1 yet? I think all those geniuses are doing level 1 tasks. In the last 2 days, whoever can make a successful transition before the big exam will get a higher ranking. I left to practice leveling. I'm sad. I thought the beauty was waiting for me. Suren walked through the crowd and walked to Ling Qingxiu. What is your job transfer mission? I have completed the first 2 tasks, but the last one may be a bit difficult. It requires the teeth of the Steppenwolf King. Hearing that this was the mission, Suren nodded. She really couldn't do it alone. How many do you want? 2. Suren remembered that he needed 3 pills for the task, so he didn't care too much and said to her. Let's go. This was the same mission when I changed jobs. I know where the Wolf King will spawn. Wait a minute, I still have friends who are not here. They are candidates from Tianshui City. Good. Seeing that Suren stopped talking, the two fell silent again. A few minutes later, a girl with a delicate face pulled a young man over to the two of them. Zioan, come here quickly. Ling Qingxiu said hello to her, and then introduced the two of them to Suren. This is my friend Mu Zioan who I just met, and this is his boyfriend Chen Hao. They are a 4-star priest and a 5-star warrior. Suren nodded slightly to the two of them as a greeting. Qingxiu, is this the powerful foreign aide you mentioned? The girl glanced at Suren, then rubbed her eyes in disbelief and said in surprise. Oh my god, is he Suren? Qingxiu, are you sure he is our teammate this time? Ling Qingxiu smiled and nodded. How's it going? I didn't disappoint you, did I? Haha, Qingxiu, we will definitely be able to complete the task easily this time. The girl looked very excited. The boy next to him was a little dissatisfied when he saw his girlfriend like this and said. Humph, what's the use of being famous? Maybe the name doesn't live up to the reality? I don't believe what's on the internet. Chen Hao, what did you say? The girl pushed him. Suren, don't mind, he has such a bad temper. Fine. Suren has seen so many pretentious people like this that he has no time to argue with him. In order to ease the embarrassment, Ling Qingxiu said. Suren, I've invited you, come join the team. Suren joins the team that fights monsters hard, profession, level, 1 to level 100. Looking at this information, Ling Qingxiu was surprised and said. Suren, when did you reach level 100? Well, will I affect your ability to complete level 2 tasks? No, the second transfer mission cannot be done in Donghua Prefecture, let's set off. Hey, I have a lap hug today, it's great, I don't have to worry anymore. I will call you Sutachi from now on. Mu Zioan's personality seems to be optimistic, cheerful, and talkative. Suren's first impression of her was okay, but as for Chen Hao. After seeing Suren's level, he completely stopped talking, but it was obvious that he was repelled by Suren's joining. It may be that Suren took the position that originally belonged to him. At least before today, he was the core of the team. For such a little brat, Suren would naturally ignore him. Anyway, he was just trying to help Ling Qingxiu this time. Who would remember who he was after this incident? The four of them walked out of the city gate together. With Mu Zioan there, the atmosphere in the team was not bad. Most of the time, the two girls were chatting, and Suren occasionally said a word when asked. Chen Hao has not spoken since leaving the city. Sudadu, do you really know where the Wolf King is refreshed? It seems that 2 teams went to hunt the Wolf King yesterday, but I couldn't find them after looking for them for a long time, and there are no strategies online. Is your mission all about asking for the teeth of the Wolf King? Suren asked. Yes, now including us, we estimate that there will be at least 4 teams trying to grab the Wolf King. The ones who can do this task now must be the top people. We are afraid that we can't beat them, so we ask for help. But with you here we will definitely be able to change jobs today. A few people chatted all the way, and it didn't take long before they arrived at the wasteland. Follow me, the Wolf King will spawn in a valley in the northwest. Let's go to the nearby area to farm ordinary Steppenwolves first. After a certain number of them are farmed, the Wolf King will come out. Really? That's great. Let's hurry over and grab a seat first. Mu Zioan took the lead and ran towards the northwest. Suren and Ling Qingxiu also followed. Chen Hao slowly followed behind and saw the three of them walking away. He took out his cell phone and sent a message. I asked you to pretend for me, and I'll see how embarrassed you will be later. After doing all this, Chen Hao put away his phone and followed the three of them. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 40. At this time, an anonymous message appeared in a group that only 5-star potentials could enter. The place where the Steppenwolf King is refreshed is in a valley in the northwest of the wasteland. The refresh conditions require killing enough Steppenwolves. Several teams that were looking for the Steppenwolf in the wasteland rushed to the northwest of the wasteland after seeing the news. Seeing how accurate the news was, everyone felt the need to take a look, whether it was true or false. The four of them, Suren, arrived near the valley in the northwest of the wasteland. They found a place with many Steppenwolves and started to spawn monsters. Start spawning monsters. Come on you three, I'll add buffs to you. Muzioan smiled sweetly and cheered to the three of them. I don't kill monsters. After Suren finished speaking, he found a stone on the slope and lay down. It seems to be a good thing to lie on the grassland and enjoy the breeze for a while. Chen Hao, apologize quickly. Muzioan thought Suren was angry because of what happened at the city gate, and scolded Chen Hao. Chen Hao, who had been silent all this time, heard that his girlfriend asked him to apologize to other boys, and he immediately said angrily, "Did you make a mistake? Why should I apologize to him if he doesn't move?" Seeing that Muzioan wanted to speak, Suren stopped her and said, "It's none of his business. My skills have a long cooldown time. I will naturally take action when the Wolf King comes out." After explaining, Suren put his hands on the back of his head, squinted his eyes and fell asleep. He is here to help kill the Wolf King, not as a coolie. Ling Qingxiu glanced at Suren doubtfully. Aren't Suren's skills unlimited? But she was not stupid, and she immediately realized that Suren was trying to hide himself and give others the illusion that his skills had a long cooldown. Thinking of this, Ling Qingxiu felt happy. Suren did not avoid her, which showed that she was a trustworthy person in his heart. Ling Qingxiu laughed unconsciously, and then explained to Muzioan. By the way, Zioan, I forgot to tell you. Suren only has one skill. Although the damage is high, the cooldown time is very long. We'll call him after we spawn the Wolf King. Is that so? Okay then. Muzioan nodded. Suren was originally here to help them with their job transfer mission, and she also knew that it was not appropriate to bother others by swiping monsters. It turns out it's just a skill. I thought it was so awesome. Also, I think he is just lazy. If he doesn't have skills, can't he just use a flat chop? Chen Hao whispered a few words disdainfully, and then went to pull Steppenwolf to kill him. He didn't want to be known as a lazy person in front of the two girls. Just as the team was chatting and laughing while brushing monsters, 4 teams came here. Seeing Suren and others, these people were not surprised, but each found a place to spawn monsters. Strange, why do so many people come here? Muzioan murmured in confusion. Did these people also get the news and know that the Wolf King is here? Ling Qingxiu was also a little curious and puzzled. It's impossible. There were no guides online before. Suren just brought us here. Suren heard them talking, opened his eyes and looked over, just in time to see Chen Hao, who lowered his head and looked a little uncomfortable. Suren recalled what happened when Chen Hao fell behind just now, and he already had a rough idea of what happened. But Suren didn't bother to expose him. As long as he was here, no matter how many people came to the Wolf King, they couldn't belong to others. More than an hour later. Because of the large number of people, the Wolf King refreshed faster this time. A regional announcement rang in the ears of everyone in the wasteland. The Wolf King of the Wasteland has been refreshed somewhere in the northwest. Professionals in the wasteland are invited to go and kill him. After hearing the announcement, everyone stopped what they were doing. Brush, 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 it's really brushed here. Musayoan jumped excitedly. Ling Qingxiu looked at Suren. I know, let's go. Suren stood up and walked up the valley. The other teams also rushed over at this time, and there were now a total of 5 teams above the valley. Everyone looked at the White Wolf King in the valley. It's really the Wolf King, that message is true. At this time someone suggested. Everyone, I think everyone is here for the last job transfer material. But the number of wolf fangs is definitely limited. Let's see how to distribute them, right? Another person spoke. It goes without saying that the most capable people will naturally be chosen. Whoever's team has the highest output will be given priority. I object. Just because your output is high doesn't mean your team can do it alone. If you take away the wolf fang first, won't our work for you be in vain? Yes, I object too. Seeing the stalemate, someone stood up and said. Let's see. We have a total of 5 teams here. If there are 5 wolf fangs, 1 for each team will naturally come out. If there are less than 5, they will be given in turn according to the team's output, and they will be made up after the second Wolf King comes out. How about ensuring that all teams get enough wolf fangs in the end? After discussing this suggestion for a while, all the teams felt that this was indeed the optimal solution. Okay, that's it, our team agrees. Ours agrees too. Just when all the teams agreed, Suren said calmly. I object. Hearing Suren's objection, Chen Hao sneered in his heart. How can you keep pretending in front of so many people today? Everyone turned towards Suren at this time. Some people dare to object when so many teams have agreed. They want to see who is so bold. Brother, everyone agrees, you. Halfway through the words, the speaker saw Suren's face. He was shocked and at the same time he stuttered a little. You are Suren. Suren? Is he Suren? Why is he here? Didn't it mean that he had already completed his first turn? Suren has long become the most famous among the candidates in Donghua Prefecture this time. Li Wanqing, who has dual career 5-star potential, is not as good as Suren. Coupled with one big thing after another on the internet, it is not surprising that they know Suren. So what if he is Suren? We are competing fairly, but he still dares to kill us all. We are all geniuses from each city, not those mercenaries. That's right, I'll argue with him. One person volunteered to stand up. Suren, we know you are very strong, but this Steppenwolf King was created after everyone spent more than an hour slaying mobs together. It would be too domineering for you to monopolize it all by yourself, right? Yes, everyone has a share in the Wolf King's refresh. Some people were emboldened, and others also stood up and asked. Why do you dominate the Wolf King by yourself? Why? Suren took out the magic sword Thousand Blades and said lazily. Is the knife in my hand enough?